there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, the 1st of March in the year 2025. Let's take a look at the headlines. CHAISA woman pleads for hubby's release after survival proves challenging. Self-medical prescription a danger to public health, says PHAZ. Lusaka floods not a reflection of KARIBA dam water levels, says engineer ZULU. In international news this evening, Zelenskyy reaffirms security guarantee demands after dispute with Trump. In sports, Power Dynamos triumph 3-1 over KABWE Warriors in thrilling encounter. Join us for these and many more stories after this break.
Get all the latest updates on court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
To present Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. A woman from Lusaka's CHAISA compound has appealed to well-wishers for assistance in securing the release of her husband, who was arrested following a misunderstanding over the loss of 3,000 kwacha at his workplace. In an interview, Tomaida Mwenda says her husband, who is employed by an Indian national, has been in police custody. Despite her repeated visits to a police station, she has not been given any clear resolution. Ms. Mwenda has since called on the government to intervene as she is struggling to provide for herself and her children in her husband's absence. Meanwhile, Joshua Generation President Arthur Mukea has expressed concern over the treatment of Zambian workers by some foreign employers, particularly those of Indian descent. Barbara Mlenga filed in this report.
In most African households, a man is a sole provider of the family. It is for this reason, a woman of Lusaka's CHAISA compound is appealing to well-wishers for assistance in securing the release of her husband, who was arrested following a misunderstanding over the loss of 3,000 kwacha at his workplace. Tomaida Mwenda says her husband, who is employed by an Indian national, has been in police custody for 2 weeks now for failure to pay the said amount.
Inamnanga na gwira kali polisi nimaenda kwa polisi sirakanuza no ndatoka kuja kama sipisha singana wewe basi na kwa jirani pafiti kwa maana singana wewe ndio maana na siayo na kama na wao kwa kitendo kwa sababu hapo ndio mnaenda tumia mapepa na kwa kulipa mapepa ndio tatikana maji fuja hapo na ndio kwa wazi bwela na kuonza tumanayi sakilani cha mundu okusenza kuti babili hapo asaine police na.
She has called on well-wishers to assist her as she is struggling to provide for herself and her children in the absence of her husband. Meanwhile, Joshua Generation President Arthur Mukea has expressed concern over the treatment of Zambian workers by some foreign employers, particularly those of Indian descent. He says many foreign-owned businesses in the area do not prioritize the welfare of their workers.
We went to the shop where the husband works, and they said, no, we don't know him. But I asked the Indian, do you know Patatiwake at yes? Did this buyer buy the products, the Katundu grocery mshopu mwako at iwe ngatanabula mshopu mwako inga engo nyama wezo pasila ndani Katundu, because that husband is saying that husband is waiting for you, and iwe wezo pasila utakutima mlongela customer wako At the end of the day, the relationship is between you and your client. This guy is a middle person. His job is just to facilitate that your transaction is smooth. You have to respect him. You have to know him. What guy? Kulipetani bati watu wangapi wanaosenza pana wangapi so wanatundira huko bana hiye kamu kulipetwa ile but how much money are they making it? How much money are they making it? So you are telling me mino haya mashopu sasa watundira hapa bana.
Additionally, he has warned the police against corruption and unlawful detention, calling on the government to take action against officers who violate their duties. He has also encouraged citizens to stay informed about the national affairs by watching television and engaging with news sources to educate themselves on important issues affecting the country.
Who have been in the cells at Central Police, there's one, Josias has been there 8 months. There's one, Charles has been there for 4 or 5 months. Go, your journalists, go and investigate and find out. Go to the C5 and ask. They will tell you, go. So we are not talking from without, no. All my youth countrywide, let's take key interest and watch TV. Let's understand what is happening in our country now so that we make the right decision as we are going to elections next year. Nizo alaiti ya vuta. But next week, I'm starting to give the young people gen sets for free so that we can start watching TV and understand what is happening in our country.
Barbara Mlenga for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Energy expert Boniface Zulu has attributed the recent floods in Lusaka to human-induced factors, dismissing any link between the flooding and water levels in the KARIBA Dam. In an interview with Camnet News, Zulu explained that the persistent flooding in Lusaka is primarily due to poor drainage systems, particularly in the Central Business District (CBD) and various communities. He further noted that the cities and planned settlements contribute to waterlogging as the accumulated water has nowhere to drain effectively. Zulu also clarified that flood waters do not directly flow into the KARIBA Dam, but instead undergo a natural process before reaching the reservoir. Lusaka has recently experienced severe flooding, raising concerns among residents, especially as the country continues to face ongoing load shedding.
We are seeing a number of floods within the country, especially in Lusaka city, which of course these floods are human-induced floods. Does not mean that these floods are natural but human-induced, due to the fact that most drainage systems within Lusaka are clogged, and even the planning of Lusaka city itself was not well planned. There are so many unplanned settlements which do not have drainage systems, meaning that water has nowhere to go but remains stagnant or clogged in certain places. But however, this does not mean that this water is diverted to our dams, such as the KABWE Dam or the KARIBA Dam. No, this water for Lusaka's hydrological pattern or morphology itself, this water actually diverts after the generation points to take back into the Zambezi River. So the generation points are not able to capture this water that is coming from Lusaka, and it does not mean that each time there's a flood that water goes directly into our reservoirs. Firstly, we must understand that the people of Zambia to say the KARIBA Dam collects its water from rainwater, which comes from mostly the northern part of the northwestern part.
The Zambia National Men's Network for Gender and Development has called on men to break the silence on sexual harassment by reporting cases to the nearest victim support unit. National Coordinator Nelson Banda emphasized that many men suffer in silence due to fear of ridicule or judgment, making them more vulnerable to abuse. He stressed the importance of creating safe spaces where men can openly share their experiences and seek support. He adds that his organization has since trained 32 men across all districts to provide assistance to those affected by sexual harassment, gender-based violence, GBV, and related issues. Mr. Banda reiterated that sexual harassment is a criminal offense and urged men who have experienced such violations to report incidents to the police or the nearest victim support unit.
Violated, simply walk to the police station or police post, victim support unit, which is very closer to you. If there isn't, look for an organization that is working together with the police and will be able to assist you. I'm sure in almost every community there are civil society organizations that are closer to the city, including the church. Okay? So open up to those institutions and they'll be able to assist, or at least you'll find someone who will be able to assist you come over that situation. But the best is to look for a police station which is closer to you, or any other police. You don't need to only report to a police station which is closer. You can report anywhere as long as there is a police station where you are.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, has urged broadcasting stations to prioritize programming that amplifies children's voices and promotes their rights. IBA Acting Director General Susan Domingo emphasized that the commitment to child-centered content should extend beyond the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, ICDB, and the consistently integrated into stations' regular programming. She noted that this year's ICDB theme, Our Children, Our Future, aligns with the IBA's mandate to ensure responsible broadcasting that serves the best interest of all, particularly children and youth. She adds that prioritizing children's voices could contribute to making their ideas heard and considered in decision-making processes. Domingo further highlighted the significant role broadcasting stations play in shaping the next generation, stressing that the content aired today influences the thoughts, aspirations, and values of children who represent the nation's future. Zambia will on 2nd March 2025 join the global community in commemorating International Children's Day of Broadcasting under the theme, Our Children, Our Future.
Joins the world in commemorating International Children's Day of Broadcasting under the theme, Our Children, Our Future. We would like to urge broadcasting stations to prioritize programming that amplifies the voices of children and promotes their rights. This theme aligns with our mandate to ensure responsible broadcasting content that promotes the best interests of all, particularly children and youth. By prioritizing children's voices, we aim to ensure that their ideas are heard and considered in decision-making processes. The theme is also a powerful reminder that broadcasting stations play a significant role in shaping the next generation. The content that stations air today influences the thoughts, aspirations, and values of children who are the future of our nation. In this regard, we encourage all broadcasting stations to dedicate airtime to child-friendly programs. Stations must also ensure compliance with laws protecting the rights and integrity of minors while upholding ethical and professional standards in children's content production. This commitment to child-centered programming should extend beyond International Children's Day of Broadcasting and be consistently reflected in stations' overall programming. The authority commends the efforts of stations that have already embraced child-friendly content and encourage others to follow suit. We remain dedicated to collaborating with stations to ensure programming that protects children from harmful content while fostering an environment that supports their growth and development.
Economic analyst Yusuf Dodia says the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has the potential to unlock development at local level despite challenges associated with its increase and decentralization. Mr. Dodia notes that while the government's economic policies have been effective, further efforts are needed to enhance acclimatization, utilization, and monitoring of the fund to maximize its impact. He expressed optimism that in the coming years, the CDF will continue to contribute to Zambia's development at the constituency level, citing positive outcomes in some areas, particularly in skills training, as an indication of the fund's effectiveness. Mr. Dodia emphasized that the CDF plays a crucial role in decentralizing development by improving service delivery and ensuring that local communities directly benefit from national resources.
The recent announcement by the Ministry of Local Government that they would be carrying out sensitization programs to the public in every constituency on how to use the constituency development funds is a useful mechanism to ensure that we don't get wastage, abuse, and theft of these funds, which ought to go to the communities in every constituency. Now, for the last few years, we've heard the Minister of Finance highlight his concern about the use of constituency development funds, or rather the abuse of constituency development funds. And in 2025, this figure is going up to 37 million kwacha per constituency. And therefore, it becomes very important for the Ministry of Local Government to ensure that there is a structure on how these funds are managed, where these funds are applied, and in what mechanism is used for using these funds for the benefit of the wider citizens or residents in any constituency. Clearly, the structure of a constituency is that you have zones, which consists of about 8 to 10 households. And then those zones have a chair, they have a committee, and they look at their issues, what it is that they are.
Government says it is committed to strengthening the long-standing bilateral relations with Zimbabwe. Speaking at the 34th session of the Zambia-Zimbabwe Joint Permanent Commission on Defense and Security in Victoria Falls, Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Mambo Hamaundu emphasized the deep historical and cultural ties between the two nations. He noted that Zambia and Zimbabwe share more than just a border, as their people are bound by common values, often earning them the description of Siamese twins. Mr. Hamaundu expressed hope that the spirit of unity instilled by the founding fathers would continue to guide the two nations in fostering cooperation. He encouraged delegates to use the Commission as a platform to strengthen bilateral collaboration, ensuring that Southern Africa remains a hub of peace and stability. Meanwhile, Zambia's Minister of Defense Permanent Secretary Aaron Nepera commended Zambia for its pivotal role in the liberation struggles of several South African nations, acknowledging the country's contributions to regional freedom and development. The Public Health Association of Zambia has raised concerns over the increasing trend of self-medication among the general public. In an interview with Camnet News, Association National Coordinator Mambo Mumbuluma cautioned that many individuals turn to self-medication due to shortages of medical supplies in hospitals and clinics. He, however, warned that this practice carries serious risks, including the consumption of expired drugs. Mr. Mumbuluma noted that many people store medicines at home and take them without checking expiry dates, potentially exposing themselves to toxic substances that can be life-threatening. He further highlighted the dangers of overdosing as certain medications can have fatal effects when taken in excessive amounts. The association has since urged the public to seek medical attention from qualified healthcare professionals rather than resorting to self-medication.
Public Health Association of Zambia, we have realized with concern that there is a growing tendency by the general public to self-medicate. Self-medication is the use of drugs or medicines for the sole purpose of either treating symptoms or treating illnesses. Most members allude this habit due to the absence of medical supplies in our facilities, basically in hospitals and in clinics. In as much as this may look to be a good thing, self-medication has got its own repercussions, some of which include taking of expired drugs. Some people have a tendency of keeping drugs in their homes, so that once they experience certain health conditions, they just pick and drink. But because they are not health professionals, they may not take keen interest to check the expiry dates, thereby taking these medications which are expired. Some drugs, when expired, produce other chemicals that are very toxic, and sometimes they are life-threatening. This is one of the dangers of self-medicating. Another one is misuse of antibiotics. Antibiotics are very effective against microbes and bacteria. But once abused or misused, these microbes may develop resistance, of which there may be need to use more stronger antibiotics, which is also not good for the body's health, in that the stronger the medication, the more the side effects that they have.
The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has called on President Hakainde Hichilema to address concerns regarding the implementation of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, citing irregularities and low absorption rates as major challenges. Council Chairperson Beauty KABWE emphasized the need for greater accountability, efficiency, and effectiveness in CDF utilization. She urged the government to either reduce the fund or refrain from increasing it further until these issues are resolved. Ms. KABWE also noted that while the president highlighted progress in combating gender-based violence, GBV, during his address, the full implementation of legal frameworks such as the Anti-GBV Act remains lacking. She further expressed concern that President's discussion on democracy did not address the need for greater representation of women, youth, and persons with disabilities in leadership, both in elected and appointed positions. NGOCC has since urged government to use the proposed delimitation process to create new constituencies that ensure better political representation for marginalized groups, advocating for legal reforms to address their historical underrepresentation. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Engineer Nzovu, has called for a multi-sectoral approach to address water pollution in the KABWE River. Speaking during a tour of Sino Metals Leach, Zambia Limited in Kitwe, Engineer Colin Nzovu acknowledged that the mining company has taken responsibility for the pollution but urged them to go further in addressing the environmental damage. He emphasized that beyond accepting accountability, Sino Metals must ensure a thorough cleanup and provide adequate compensation to affected communities. The minister also stressed the need for swift implementation of measures to contain the spread of pollution following the collapse of the tailings dam at the mine. Meanwhile, Sino Metals Leach Zambia Limited has issued an apology to the government and the Zambian people for the environmental damage caused by the incident. Company chairman Zhang Pian acknowledged the significant impact on the environment and local communities, reaffirming the company's commitment to restoring safety and environmental integrity.
And what we're going to do going forward. If you see this dam here, it's in a cascade of several dams. There's a dam up here, there are 4 other dams down. The failure happened on the upper dam. There was subsequent failure on 2 other dams downstream. In engineering, when you put these dams in a series along the same slope, when failure happens on the upstream, failure is very likely going to happen on all the other ones. So, we are happy that ZEMA issued what is called a restoration order. This is to ensure that Seno Metals does everything possible, all measures put in place to prevent a occurrence. There are 2 things also discussed from the engineering point of view, and this we've been advising all dam owners, domestic supply, commercial supply, as well as the dams in the mining sector, that a dam must be designed, a dam must be inspected regularly, because what has happened, and the construction also must meet the required standards. So what we're encouraging Sino Metal here to do is to do a redesign of this facility. IMD that the heavy metals are also being monitored closely, and that the water which is being taken from that intake to the treatment plant is safe for our people. I think that was the most important thing for us to do, to ensure that we restore supply to our people as quickly as we can. Where are we now? We are looking at the various measures we've been putting in place. One of them is to quickly reduce that acidity in the water by application of lime.
We now go to Western Province, where Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa has urged cattle owners to ensure their livestock is vaccinated to prevent the spread of diseases. Mr. Akapelwa noted that the province's cattle population has significantly declined due to rampant livestock diseases, posing a serious threat to the local economy. He further stated that government has initiated the construction of a veterinary laboratory to strengthen disease control measures and safeguard the region's livestock industry. Musia Wakabila now reports in this report.
The cattle population in Western Province has declined to 600,000 due to rampant disease posing a threat to the local economy and the farmers' livelihoods. The government therefore embarked on the construction of a veterinary laboratory to combat the crisis. Western Province Permanent Secretary Momo Akapelwa said the laboratory will focus on disease prevention, diagnosis and treatment for livestock.
Last time we did, the cattle population in Western Province had dropped down for about 600,000. The time the UPMD government came in, the cattle population had already dropped from about 1 million to about 880,000. We are completing this provincial laboratory. Was one of our 10 priority projects. In the next few months it will be finished. Now it's been funded. At the last check, it was at about 95% completion. The cattle population, and I think you are aware that the government has been taking cattle to the various constituencies. We realize how much cattle is part of the economy of this place. Most of the people, big people who are educated from here were educated by cattle. And so.
The government has also spent 11 million kwacha on cattle vaccination. The Permanent Secretary Momo has called on cattle owners to take their cattle for vaccination in order to eliminate the disease in the province.
Cattle business, from the time we started vaccinating in this, we have done about 11 million. It's a lot of money the government has put in. Through you, if I can appeal to the cattle owners, to our parents in the villages. There is that belief that if you keep vaccinating your cattle, they become very weak. So they will not be. So some people actually hide their cattle when people come to vaccinate. Some people don't bring their cattle, which is very unfortunate. Because then, for those which are not vaccinated, that means you are stocking some. It's like you are keeping some disease, a pool where you have the disease. We must change our attitude and take our cattle through you, the journalists. Please, let's prevail upon our cattle owners to take their cattle. Let's have proper cattle husbandry regimes so let's eliminate it so that we open up our cattle.
Museo Kavira, Camnet News in Mungu District, Western Province.
And that particular story from Western Province takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news. Please do stay tuned.
Immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, downlights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Thank you so much for still joining us and welcome back. And now in international news. President Volodymyr Zelensky has reiterated his calls for security guarantees following a public disagreement with US President Donald Trump. Zelensky emphasized that a ceasefire alone is not sufficient for the Ukrainian people, stressing the need for clear security assurances. He underscored that after 3 years of conflict, Ukrainians need to know that the US stands with them and not with Russia. The Ukrainian leader sought to clarify his position after Trump suggested that Kyiv was not fully committed to securing peace. Zelensky emphasized that Ukraine is determined to end the war and secure its freedom, stressing the importance of unity in this struggle. Zelensky also pointed to a minerals deal discussed earlier as a potential first step toward peace. Here's a roundup of international news.
I'm very thankful to
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeated demands for security guarantees just hours after a public spat with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump.
You know, just a ceasefire without security guarantees, this is so sensitive for our people. I'm speaking like a president of a people who are in this struggle 3 years, and they just want to hear that America on our side and that America will stay with us, not with Russia, with us. Where we have to understand.
The Ukrainian leader attempted to correct the narrative after Trump had claimed that Kyiv is not serious about securing peace.
Nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in this war, we are in this battle, battle for freedom, for our lives. So I'm just telling that I think that we have to be on the same side, and I hope that the president on our side together with us, and that is very important to stop Putin.
Zelensky also noted that the minerals deal, which was on Friday meeting's agenda before the chaos erupted, will be the first step towards peace.
At this hospital in Sudan, it's overwhelmed with child patients suffering from war-related injuries, hunger and sickness. The RSF has been at war with the Sudanese military since April 2023, affecting many people.
The total number of patients per day, the casualty, will arrive 150. All of them children. All of them children.
The war is affecting many young people, causing them to starve and stress. He just won't gain any weight. We check his weight in grams. His older brothers have become violent, obsessed with fighting and naming types of guns. Girls are also adapting to the militarization all around them by learning self-defense drills to protect themselves as the situation has become out of control, causing many deaths. Hussam volunteers at this morgue. A reporter asks him how he's feeling in this situation. There are bodies of 3 girls and a boy. We're grown-ups. We found all we need in the world, but why were they involved? They were innocent. The ICC is investigating alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. For now, those affected are praying the atrocities will end soon. Spain's economy outpaced all of Europe and the US in 2024, fueled by an influx of foreign workers. The government now plans to regularize nearly 1 million more workers, which is a stark contrast to US policies on foreign labor.
Here in
Guisona, it feels like living in a house with people from different countries. And that's a good thing, because you get to meet people from other cultures and backgrounds. There's always something new to learn, and someone more knowledgeable than you. It's really great. I feel at home. Bonaire relies heavily on foreign labour, with 40% of its 5,000-strong workforce being foreign-born. Its model for success has been replicated across businesses in Spain. We always try to explain why we hire people from other countries. It's not because we want to pay low wages. In fact, wages at Bonera are above the regional average for every worker. These people come here to perform specific tasks related to the meat industry. And these are jobs that locals don't seek for various reasons, like full employment or other factors. While Trump pledges to close borders and expel millions of foreigners, Spain's government, business owners and economists agree that migrant workers are crucial to the country's success.
And finally, in sports news this evening, in an exhilarating Zambia Super League clash, Power Dynamos emerged victorious with a 3-1 win over KABWE Warriors. The match, which featured an extraordinary 9 minutes of stoppage time, highlighted the fierce rivalry between the two teams. While the game was tightly contested, Power Dynamos' tactical prowess and swift counter-attacks ultimately made the difference, allowing them to secure a well-earned victory. This defeat could have significant consequences for KABWE Warriors' league standing. Currently third with 44 points from 25 matches, their position is now under threat. Power Dynamos, on the other hand, have strengthened their push in the league. And that particular sports item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, we take a look at stories that made headlines. CHAISA woman pleads for HUBBY'S release after survival proves challenging. Self-medical prescription a danger to public health, PHAZ. Lusaka floods not a reflection of KARIBA dam water levels, says ZULU. In international news, Zelenskyy reaffirms security guarantee demands after dispute with Trump. In sports, Power Dynamos triumph 3-1 over KABWE Warriors in thrilling encounter. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 48. It reads, "But he that knew not and did not commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes, for unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask for more." That ends the reading, and that ends the main news bulletin on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms, Camnet TV, not just another channel.